This is Good Morning San Diego.
Without a doubt, school closures are geared to keeping students safe during the pandemic, but many parents are concerned about the long-term effects that school closures could have on children. Not only parents, but also some school leaders. Here to talk more about this topic and some other things, Mark Powell, board member for the San Diego County Board of Education. Mark, great to see you via Skype. How are you?
Good to see you. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning. Okay, let's start by talking about these tragic consequences that I understand you're starting to see about children because of the closures of school. I mean, school has been closed since mid-March. So what are you guys seeing, at least district-wide or county-wide for that matter?
Well, when schools shuttered in March, which was almost half a year ago, those school closures ushered in a whole nother set of issues with students, and that is mental health issues, depression, anxiety, and other serious mental health issues are coming out of students being in isolation, away from their friends, not having any contact, face-to-face contact with teachers. So what we do know, Liz, is that more students have died from suicide, drug overdose, and domestic violence than they have of COVID-19. In fact, there are 0 reported deaths of students under the age of 19 due to COVID-19.
And so are you talking about children in our area? We're talking county-wide. Is this the information that you guys have been gathering? Or is this just across the board, nationwide?
Well, I'm talking about San Diego County because I personally know of students, sadly and tragically, that have taken their lives during this pandemic. Now, I'm not saying that the pandemic caused these students to take their life. However, the fact remains that if these kids were in front of a teacher and the teacher is the one who identifies whether or not a student may be abused at home, maybe they come into class and the teacher looks at the student and goes, you're just not looking too good. Is everything okay? Can I send you to the counselor or the school psychologist to talk? Well, during distance learning, that option doesn't exist. Oftentimes, these students are left to solve their own mental health issues on their own. And tragically, a lot of them are resorting to self-medication, self-mutilation. They're harming themselves. I have a plan that I want to bring forward to the County Board of Education at our next meeting to help manage and cope with these mental health issues.
Can you tell us briefly what part of this plan that you have includes?
Oh, absolutely. So as a student distance learns, they're sitting in front of their computer and maybe they don't know what resources are available. Now, similar to a banner ad that would appear if you're online or you're on Google, you can put banner ads up on the website, on their Zoom site, Google Classroom or whatever, that say, if you are feeling sad, if you are depressed, if you feel like you want to hurt yourself, there is help. Call this number and make that information also available to parents. I mean, they're sitting in front of the computer. They have the option to look at these numbers. And that way, you get some advertisement out there because it's highly unlikely that these kids are going to be able to search and research that information themselves because they're in a mental state that doesn't allow them to do that at the time.
Yeah, and it's very scary, I can tell you as a parent, to think and fathom that a possible mental health issue could go unseen, undetected. Part of the reason because they're not in school and we don't have the other eyes, the other adults, the school leadership, other eyes on our kids. It's very, very scary. We're going to keep tabs with you on this plan, find out what kind of response you get from the other board members there at the Office of Education. But Mark, before I let you go, I need to ask you on a separate note having to do with COVID-19. As you are aware, on Friday, Governor Gavin Newsom announced that school districts up and down California are going to be able to apply for a waiver to reopen elementary schools, a waiver that will go through the county health departments. I have a letter from the superintendent from the Powell Unified School District telling parents we are going to consult with the Office of Education on how to apply for this waiver. What are you hearing about this waiver? What do you know about it? What are you going to tell our school district leaders who are going to ask you about how to go about filling out this waiver?
So, from what I understand, the waiver needs to be applied for by the superintendent of the particular district. Now keep in mind that there are some districts out of the 42 districts that only have one school. For example, the Rancho Santa Fe School District is one school. So the superintendent can apply for a waiver with the county public health official, and that public health official can determine whether or not they believe that it's safe to open up school. Now, as we know, coronavirus often is higher in some areas of San Diego County than it is in others. So it's going to be up to the individual superintendent of that particular district to apply for the waiver.
Okay, are you hearing anything from county health, from our county health office in regards to how county health is feeling about these waivers, these applications that are probably going to be coming in this week into the office from different school district officials or different superintendents?
Liz, this is so new that it's going to be up to each individual district, where the districts are allowed to petition by themselves. The County Office of Education can offer support services and recommendations to open up school, which we do have on our website, and any district can access any of that support. But as far as the individual responses from the public health official, that's going to be all up to the superintendent and that district. I have not heard anything from either the public health official or any of the individual districts at this time.
Okay, well, we appreciate your time, Mark Powell, touching on a couple of issues. We'll follow both of these issues through. Please let us know what results in when you indeed propose this plan to help out or at least close the gap between these tragic consequences of school closures and students' mental health. Let us know how that goes. And we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liz.